welcome. This is Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
Right here, a2dradio.com. We are live from the Kingsgate Realty Studios up here in Burlington, New Jersey. And our show tonight is brought to you, like every Wednesday night, by Gibson Mayer, LLC, your certified public accountant, 215-369-3300. On the web, gibsonmayer.com. A ton to talk about tonight. We'll go over the Eagles' new coaching staff. Well, actually, we'll start from the bottom. We'll AFC, NFC preview. You know, who's going to Super Bowl in our opinion. We'll get into all of that. We'll go over the press conference yesterday of Doug Pederson, Jeffrey Lurie. We'll dive into that. But we'll start things off with the Eagles' new coaching staff, and that is brought to you by Legends Tap, best pizza this side of the Delaware, 318 High Street in Burlington, New Jersey, 609-386-3001. Follow them on Facebook at Legends Tap. You can vote on our Twitter page, A2DRadio_com. Dig Doug Pederson's press conference. Increase your confidence in hhis hiring, yes or no. That's a long one, but we got it out. But before we get into everything else, I got to take like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, because it is crush goddamn city here in the A2D Radio studios here in Burlington, New Jersey. Because I am so sick and tired of this, what I'm going to call sloppy media.
Okay.
Like overly aggressive media. A media always with an agenda. Consistently with an agenda. We bring in a new coach. It's day one of a press conference. Day one. His first time being here. His first time in front of a big media group like this as a head coach. And we really have to drill him on the last 2 minutes of a football game that's not our team, nor should we care about. Why can't that wait till day two? That's my first thing. And for all you the media jackasses out there that have an agenda out there, and their agenda is always real simple. Who can I run out of town? Who can fail the quickest so I have something to talk about? Because I'm not smart enough to talk about success. I always have to talk about failure. I have to have an agenda because this guy didn't come on my show or this guy ignored me in a hallway. The same agenda that the Eagles players had with Chip Kelly is the same agenda this media has with every single coach, player that comes through this city. Let me explain to you what A2DRadio.com is before we move on. It's a new kind of sports talk. And the only goddamn agenda I have is winning. Period. I want winners. I don't want to talk about failure. I don't have an agenda to run somebody out of town. I want an agenda of Broad and Patterson. That's my agenda. To do shows with Mr. Mataraki sitting right there on Broad Street with, a cocktail in one hand.
Floats going by.
Yeah, and doing it after each team ends their year. That's how I want to end it. That's never going to be the case. But what is the case is that that's our agenda here. And I'm not here to rip people and run people out of town. So that dives us in somehow.
May I counterpoint?
Go ahead.
99.9% of the time, I would agree with you. I watched that press conference yesterday 3 times for reasons that we'll get into as the show goes on. I actually felt like the local media softballed him a little bit. I felt like he was ill-prepared. He was stiff. He was nervous. What I had the problem with was the national guys. I felt guys like, the print guys and the CSN guys and our local media. And I think it's because they know him. He's got a little bit of a history here. I feel like they softballed him a little bit. But I feel like the guys that were there from CBS, from ESPN, from the Sporting News, these guys that were just rapid fire 4, 5, 6 questions and didn't even let them answer the first one before the questions kept coming. Those were the jackasses that were looking for as you said, the failures. Why do you have to harp on the failures? The questions about the time management in the Kansas City game, I actually felt like was relevant.
It's relevant, maybe day 2.
Okay.
I don't disagree with the relevance of it, but, day 1 should be a happy day. Right? Day 1's a clean slate.
That part I absolutely agree with.
Who are we now? Like, it's Negadelphia. I mean, it's so freaking Negadelphia, I want to move. Like, I want to cleanse myself of the nonsense that goes on here. Like, you just brought a guy in. It's a fresh start. Not me or you or a lot of people, but most people wanted Chip Kelly out of town. You got your wish. Okay, this might not be the sexiest girl at the prom, but guess what? The sexiest girl at the prom, you wake up and cook breakfast for the next morning, okay? Let me clear this up. Maybe Doug Pederson's that 7 at the prom, right? Who you take home and have relations with, and she wakes up and cooks you dinner, breakfast in the morning, consistently day in, day out for a year and the rest of your life. Maybe that's Doug Pederson.
And the sevens often have hidden talents.
You never know. So he's not the sexy girl at the prom, but it doesn't mean he can't be successful. And day one of a press conference, we're going to get drill happy at the end of it over a 2-minute drill that had no relevance for us. It's a fresh start for him too.
I agree.
Why go back? Because there's an agenda to already start the process of running Doug Pederson out of town as quick as he got.
Well, I have a problem with the whole thing to begin with, and not the press conference per se, but the whole concept that you're into right now. It's that the Philadelphia media feels like they have to be tough, which means the national media, when they come in here for something like that, they have to show these little guys in the Philadelphia media how big their effing balls are. So they're going to be more badass than the Philadelphia media. Screw that. It's like when Eagles fans travel to other cities.
Yeah, puppy chats.
And they have to be the biggest jack-offs in the stadium. It's like, why can't you go to an away game and have a good time? I've gone to Dallas, I've gone to New York, I've gone to Washington. If you don't start shit with people, everybody else in this league, except maybe the Oakland Raiders, are friendly. But no, the Eagles fans have to be the ones, like you said, that show up somewhere and start puffing their chests. Well, you know what? We haven't won a goddamn Super Bowl. Who the hell is puffing chests around here?
I don't know. They haven't won a Super Bowl, and who knows if this is the guy that can get us back to winning football again? Who knows if he's the guy who can bring us a playoff win? Nobody knows that. So to have the agenda on day one, that's what really bothers me. To have any agenda on day one that's negative is crazy talk, and that guy should be fired. Really, he should be fired. Day one, if you want to grill Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, be my guest. Drill away.
Yeah, they're not new here.
I mean, get your big drill out, your big boy drill. Okay, put your big boy pants on and drill away with Jeffrey Lurie. When it comes to Doug Pederson, can you give the guy day one? Really, I don't understand it. It's amazing to me, and it's a problem. And the fact that people keep going and listening to these guys that are stations that are irrelevant to us, that keep listening to these guys, and they put their foot in their mouth, or they say ridiculous comments and get them suspended, okay, or they have an agenda to run people out of town. But listen to them guys, because they got it all figured out. Right. There's never positivity on other shows. But I'm going to use a word that a guy once used. I digress.
I like it.
So, hopping in, Eagles' new coaching staff. Obviously, Jim Schwartz hired and Frank Reich hired as offensive coordinator. And then
let me stop you right there for a second, because I want to ask you a question that I actually feel is really, really important that I don't think anybody even asked during the press conference yesterday. And like I said, I watched that thing 3 times. Who do you think was responsible for hiring Jim Schwartz? Was he a Doug Pederson hire? Or did they have Jim Schwartz in place as the defensive coordinator to A, change systems, and B, have a head coach in waiting in case the Doug Pederson experiment goes awry?
No, I think it's to surround him. Well, to answer part 2 of it, I think it's to surround him with
experience,
big wig NFL guys who've been around the league for a while, who've had head coaching jobs, and to put them guys around him to make his job easier. Obviously, I think that's who Pederson wanted, and he just wanted to sit down with them. And that's that point was like one of the first times they actually got to sit down and talk to each other the first day he flew in. So I think that's what it was waiting on, is them two talking to see if that's who Doug wanted. But I think Doug had a part in it. Obviously, he's going to come in and bring in the guys he wants.
Okay, so along those lines, what do you think the attraction is to Frank Reich?
The attraction from who? Pederson?
From Pederson, yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's easy. It's a former quarterback, former guy played in this league a long time. It's a guy who's been around winning. In San Diego, if nobody can put that mess on him, I mean, they're not even staying in San Diego. So you can't put the mess on that shithole of an organization on him. They have Philip Rivers and nobody else, and they talk about their running game was,
that's kind of
running back.
Where I was going. How can you say they had no running back? They drafted Melvin Gordon in the first round.
But that's on player development, player personnel. That's not on Frank Reich.
Well, no, I mean,
you know what I mean? That's on.
Understood that it's a. I'm going to use the big buzzword of the last 2 days between the Eagles press conference and the San Fran press conference. It's a collaborative effort. But if Frank Reich is the offensive coordinator in San Diego, I mean, doesn't he have to have some sort of way to get the running game going? Especially if you've spent a first-round draft pick on a guy?
Oh, I agree. He should find a way to get it going, but who said it's all his shots?
Oh, no, I get that.
You know what I mean? I mean, who says it's all his shots? Who knows what went on there?
And the reason I'm asking the question is I'll be honest with you straight out. I'm a little butthurt over Pat Shermer right now.
I know you are, but you have to look at big picture, and now you have two former quarterbacks that played in this league to be able to go out and develop a quarterback. And I had an argument with Zach Barr about this earlier. If there's a guy, you don't want to go hire a running back to be your offensive coordinator. You just don't want to do it.
No.
Because the quarterback knows all the checks, all the offensive line checks, all the wide receiver checks, the running back checks. They know everything. So to bring more guys in here that know everything that goes on with an offense, I think the better chance you have of developing a young quarterback to be successful down the road. Is he in this draft? I don't believe so. But down the road. And I don't think you can have too many former NFL experienced guys on your staff. And Doug Pederson already said, I'm calling the plays. I think that's almost a smokescreen because I believe that they're going to collaborate. But I believe Doug started out, and the best thing he said in his press conference is, I'm calling the plays here. I'm the offensive coordinator. You know why? Because you already got something from Andy. And when he got from Andy, it's take full responsibility for everything on your football team. So you're already giving Frank Reich a way to come in here and already an out. Because according to us, Frank doesn't call the plays. He's not going to.
Well,
Doug is.
I mean, that's great when your team is winning, but if they don't win out of the gate, that just puts Doug even more on the hot seat.
Hot seat? Year one?
No. I mean, I'm not saying year one. Trust me, I'm not Zach Barr, nor am I Ralph Delavecchio.
I mean, year one, we're running.
I'm not running him out of town after 1 year. And I love Zach. Zach and I are calling the Conwell Egan game on Monday night, and during timeouts and commercial breaks, he's chirping in my ear about Frank Reich. Finally, I had looked at him, and I'm like, Zach, save it for the shows Wednesday night. Don't burn yourself out, brother. Oh, let's get into the coaching staff a little bit here, though. Let me give you the rundown, Tommy, because they have a press release that just came out where they have announced, at this point, looks like the entire staff. So obviously we have head coach Doug Pederson, defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, offensive coordinator Frank Reich, offensive line, tight ends, and run game coach Eugene Chung. And I will say this, I love that. Eugene Chung was an All-American in college and had a lengthy pro career. So I'm digging the Eugene Chung. Defensive quality control assistant defensive line coach Philip Daniels. Not going to lie, don't know a lot about him. Linebackers coach Ken Flagley, don't know a lot about him. Defensive backs and safeties, Tim Houck, former Eagle coming back into the fold. Wide receivers coach Greg Lewis, another former Eagle coming back into the fold. Very surprised that New Orleans let him out of his contract to come back. And you have the defensive quality control and assistant secondary coach Dino Vasso. Again, a guy that I don't know a heck of a lot about. Joining them, there's actually 7 coaches that were retained, which is, believe it or not, for our listeners, that's actually a very, very high number for a new coach to retain when he comes in year one. So you've got special teams coach Dave Phipp, who has now been promoted to special teams coordinator. Assistant special teams coach Matthew Harper. Tight ends coach Justin Peel. Running backs coach Deuce Staley, who we all know. Offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland. That's a surprise to me because Chip went and got Stoutland out of college. And the offensive line last year wasn't so great. Now, granted, injuries, but I would have thought, given the type of offense that Doug Pederson said he wants to run, I thought Stoutland might be one to go. But he's coming back, and, let's see how that works. You have your offensive quality control assistant quarterbacks coach, Press Taylor, and the one that I thought was a big coin flip, defensive backs and cornerbacks coach Corey Undlin. And Corey Undlin was the guy that was getting the rave reviews in training camp from Byron Maxwell, Walter Thurmond, Eric Rowe. Everybody loved this guy. They said the way that he taught technique was spot on, was a real good players coach, related to the guys well. They really enjoyed the way that he coached. But when your secondary gets torched for as many yards as they did in the second half of the season, Bill Davis going bye-bye, maybe that saved Corey Unland's job.
Yeah, you could probably just say that it's, based on the scheme that Billy Davis was running, and maybe that's why, he kept his job. But breaking news real quick, Bills hire Catherine Smith, first full-time female assistant coach. So she'll serve as special teams quality control. So just to throw that out
Nice.
there.
I like it.
Who's she servicing?
Bill's special teams coordinator.
She's servicing Rex and Rob.
They bring her. It was a brother decision.
What show would it be me on if I didn't bring up an inappropriate joke?
It's fine here. Yeah. It's great with me.
Rob Povey on the ones and twos, ladies and
But
gentlemen.
so you have it. You don't like Frank Reich.
You know what? I can't say that I like him or don't like him. I mean, like Doug Pederson, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to be open-minded about it. I just feel like with the personnel that they have here, unless Doug really wants to flip a lot of the personnel, Pat Shurmur got a lot out of Chip's offense last year with very limited talent. And the fact that there were several other teams who have called really hot to talk to Pat Shurmur, I mean, if the guy's in demand, why are you letting him go? I mean, unless he's not Doug's guy. But he and Doug have worked together on an Eagles coaching staff under Andy Reid. So
maybe if they felt like they couldn't keep him,
I mean, it's possible.
Maybe they just felt like they had to get the big coordinators. They had to switch, for change.
I mean,
maybe that's
fresh
the way
start.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can keep Deuce and other guys in smaller roles, but in the big time coordinator roles, they feel like as an organization they feel like they had to make the switches there.
No, and
that's the only thing I can think of.
And it's funny because for as much as I'm on Frank Reich, I love me some Jim Schwartz.
Oh, Jimmy's going to bring a ton of pressure.
Love me some Jim Schwartz. And the best thing that Jim Schwartz said yesterday was when they asked him about his scheme. Are you going to run a 4-3? Are you going to run a 3-4? Are you going to run the wide 9? Whatever. And he said, I'm not going to dictate what scheme we run. The players are going to dictate what scheme we run. To me, that means you're going to see a lot more Vinny Curry. You're probably going to see a lot more Brandon Graham lined up at defensive end instead of trying to cover running backs out of the backfield and tight ends in pass coverage. You're probably going to get a lot more blitzing from your strong safety. I think the odd man out in all this becomes Connor Barwin. So it'll be real interesting to see.
I think he actually brings a joker role to the.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it'll be real interesting to see what they do with him because you're right. They could use him in the joker role. They may be able to use him as a stand-up defensive end in a 4-3, just as a straight-out rush defensive end. I think the one who's really going to wind up breaking the bank on all this is Fletcher Cox. If Fletcher Cox wasn't a beast already, you move him inside on a 4-3, forget about it.
Yeah, especially the 4-3 they run where he's almost in a 3 technique. Gap. So that's a one name. I said Marcus Smith. I feel like can benefit from a 4-3, some playing time. I know Vinny Curry can. A lot of these guys are 4-3. Go get you go after the quarterback guys. You have them. I love the Jim Schwartz hire. I think that's the biggest hire of all three. I think he brings an attitude, an accountability, attack, which I think we need here. Let's smack people in the mouth again. And he brings being a former head coach, he brings that to Doug Pederson and can help Doug through some things that, you never know what you run into. But he has that ability. So I think it's another, stabilizing force that you bring in the organization that helped. I don't believe that he's brought in, to take Doug's job. Now, you never know what happens down the line, but I don't think this organization is fire and then hire somebody's assistant. I don't see that Jeffrey Lurie's MO. I just don't say it. He's never done it.
Well,
so you're right. I'm going by trend.
No, you're right. He's never done it, and I completely understand your rationale. I just feel like the whole firing of Chip and then the sham of a coaching search, and let's make no mistake about it, that's what it was. It was a sham. But I think this coaching search, I think he kind of got caught with his pants down, and he doesn't want that to happen again.
But I disagree.
You're allowed.
No, and you're
That's
allowed
what we do.
Yeah, and you're allowed that. I mean, I'm going to continue to stick to my guns on what I said 2.5 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, that once Andy and Jeffrey talked, it was game over. I did think he did his due diligence, bringing other guys in.
All right, and
people can afford to get back at their deal. Get the hell out of here.
And we talked about that a lot, and I'm cool with that idea. Where I really started to call it piece things together was yesterday as I'm listening to Jeff Lurie speak in his press conference, and some of the shit that he said it's got more holes in it than a 3-pound block of Swiss cheese. I mean, it's like he's talking about 20 guys or 25 guys and over 2,000 pages of documentation that gets pared down to 10, and then they interviewed 6 and Doug was their guy. A good front office doesn't start with 25 guys. They know what kind of scheme they want to run. They know what kind of guy they want to bring in. Maybe they start with 10, pare it down to 5 or 6, and interview 4. So the fact that he has all these names swimming around, to me, tells me they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And that scares me.
Devil's advocate.
You're good.
Devil's advocate. He was firing Chip after
the Tampa game.
No, I think even before that. I think Chip was fired 5 games into the season, if not before that. I don't think he liked his moves, and I think that showed. I don't think, if you're going to fire him 10 months after, it started with the decision-making of free agents. That's where it started. He had full control, full power. That's where it began. Okay? And it trickled through the season and made it worse and worse. So when I believe this is where he's getting caught, when he said he had 25 names, yeah, he had 25 names because he started this shit maybe week 1 of the season or before this.
Against Dallas when DeMarco Murray ran for 9 yards.
This started early, Mike. I'm telling you.
I don't doubt it.
It started early.
I do not doubt it.
Because there's holes, like you said. And the hole right there is what he told us right there. Well, I had 25 names. And 2 weeks, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you
bullshit.
didn't. You started at the beginning of the year because you wanted the guy going.
And then he, oh my God, the nerve of this guy. He says some of the guys didn't get fired from their current positions. Then why the hell were they on your list? Other guys didn't want to leave college. Why the hell were you dipping back into the college pool after the disaster that Chip was?
Well, I just think he's just going over and saying, hey, we did our due diligence because somebody might ask, did you look into college? So he's just giving you an answer before he even has to re-answer.
He's preemptively doing damage control is what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. And listen, he's doing damage control. Stop. You guys are all thinking the wrong way. You're thinking, well, it's a coaching, this whole thing was a scam and they didn't know what they're doing as a head coach. No, that's not the scam. That's not the problem. The problem is bigger than this. Forget Doug Pederson. I like Doug Pederson. Forget Jim Schwartz. I like Jim Schwartz. Forget Frank Reich because I like Frank Reich too. Okay? Forget all them 3. I like Chip Kelly.
I know who you don't like.
This went back.
Go ahead.
This went back to the beginning. The scam started with giving him full control and then not wanting to have full control anymore and then firing a guy. That's where the scam started. The scam didn't start with this coaching search. He realized he was firing for a while, and there's not much you can do. Well, you're not going to say midway through the season the guy's going, you're going to finish it out. So whatever happened blew up in Jeffrey's face, and he didn't want it anymore. Maybe it was Howie Roseman in his ear or down his pants, whatever, but I think that was part of it too.
Well, I actually have a theory on that I want to share with you because I'm almost at the point now, especially hearing a lot of the stuff that I heard yesterday. I almost wonder if 10 months ago, Chip didn't go into Jeff's office and say, Jeff, Howie's freaking killing us. Nobody wants to work with the guy. He's not making smart decisions. I can't work with this guy. You got to do something about Howie. And Jeff said, well, what do you want me to do? And Chip said, well, give it to me. And now Chip's gone. I don't think Doug Pederson's the one that's on the hot seat, not for at least a couple of years. I'll tell you what, if they botch this draft, Howie's gone.
Well, hold on. On the other side, we're going to talk about a new head of player personnel, too, coming in. So Howie doesn't look like he's going to be the GM. And we talked about this before. We reported this a couple weeks ago, too, that It's a good chance they're bringing in a GM from the outside. Interesting stuff after the coaching search. We're going to talk about that on the other side. You can also get on the phone lines and in on all the action. 856-295-1178. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is how you can find us. So on the other side, we'll get into that. And we'll touch on a new head of player personnel, which is interesting. And this last segment was brought to you by Obie's Catering. Changing the world one dish at a time. Contact Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Email him cateringbyobie@yahoo.com. Tell him Tom Renone and everybody from A2DRadio.com saying you get 20% off.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by Romeo's Termite and Pest Control. Family owned and operated, Romeo's only employs the safest, most effective methods to rectify your situation. Whether it's at your house or at your commercial residence, no matter what the concern may be, they'll get the job done. Raccoons, squirrels, bed bugs, termites, you name it, they'll take care of it. Satisfaction guaranteed. Give them a call at 856-341-3927 or look them up on Facebook at Romeo's Pest Control or visit their website at www.romeospestcontrol.com, your local pest control provider. A2DRadio.com is sponsored by Martino Roofing. With more than 15 years of roofing experience, they have all the services that you need, whether it's new construction, tear-offs, replacements, or re-roofs for your residential or commercial business. They will provide a detailed service in a timely and professional manner. So you can give them a call for a free consultation at 609-792-5103. Send them an email at martinoroofing@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.martinoroofingllc.com. The number again is 609-792-5103. Martino Roofing.
This is Tom Renone, owner and founder of A2DRadio.com. What if I told you I knew the best caterer in the business? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's Obie's Catering. You can contact Obie's Catering at cateringbyobie@yahoo.com or give Chris O'Brien a call at 856-534-8410. From graduations to wedding rehearsals to just if you need food cooked in your house. He'll do it all. He's trying to change the world one dish at a time. That's Obie's Catering. Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Tell him Tommy A from A2DRadio.com sent you, and you'll get 20% off.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back, Tom.
Mike,
AM.
in the PM.
We're right here on a2dradio.com. And, well, we start off the show talking about the Eagles' new coaching staff, Doug Pederson, Jim Schwartz, Frank Reich. You can go vote on our Twitter page, a2dradio_com. Did Doug Pederson's press conference increase your confidence in the hiring? Yes or no? You can vote there, and you can get involved in all the action, 856-295-1178. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, A2D Radio is where you can find us. We're going to hop in now, and we're going to talk about a new head of player personnel. But before we do that, very interesting stuff that we did a little crossword puzzle here almost.
We did a little dot to dot.
We did a lot of things.
Yeah, we did.
And what we figured out here, Chip Kelly now in San Francisco. Well, let's reverse.
Let's review for our loyal listeners.
Take it back 10 months
Okay.
when supposedly Chip Kelly didn't want to work with Tom Gamble, and all reports is that control reason Chip got control and almost pretty much kicked Tom Gamble out. Right? I mean, that's what it seemed like. Okay?
So that's what we were led to believe.
We were under the impression that Chip's power, struggle, whatever, got Tom Gamble out. Well, now, Chip Kelly is not head coach of San Francisco 49ers. Their assistant GM is none other than who?
That would be one Mr. Tom Gamble.
Who definitely has a say in the new head coach. Right? He's in the room.
And whose father, Harry, was part of the Leonard Tost, Norman Brayman ownership of the Eagles. Perhaps the family wasn't welcome under Jeff Lurie so much.
Maybe not. So maybe that's an issue, or Howie's the issue, and Howie and Tom Gamble couldn't work together. Interesting stuff. This is all brought to you by, the segment brought to you by.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
I got something to give you, too.
I pound things out.
Yeah, I like it.
The new head of player, diving in on who's going to be the new head for the Eagles of player personnel is brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey, 856-939-2030, or on the web, sportsoutletinc.com. And we're back. But, so, Howie's obviously not going to be the GM here that we reported before. And they're being real secretive, like you said, about who the next guy is going to be.
I mean, secretive almost in a belligerent kind of way. Like, Jeff he refuses to talk about it, and he says, if I talk about it, it could deter us from finding the type of individual that we want. What the hell is that?
I'm very confused because usually you bring a GM in and he brings in the staff he wants.
Right.
Correct? They must have somebody. And either he's an assistant GM on one of the 4 teams still playing, or they haven't announced it yet, or they're working the rest of the contract out. There's no way that a GM's coming and walking through the door with everything in place. They did in Kansas City, I know that.
Unless a condition for Doug Pederson or Doug Pederson and Jim Schwartz, or Doug Pederson, Jim Schwartz, and Frank Reich, a condition for them accepting the positions was that there was someone brought in to control the player personnel other than Howie.
It's got to be.
Has to be.
It has to be. I mean, he's going to stay doing the job he does and worry about the cap and money guy and let him do what he does, right? I mean, Howie's had some good drafts. He's had some bad drafts. Okay? I mean, everybody does. But
Howie makes Joe Banner look like a superstar.
Oh, my God, like a rock star. I mean, but don't kid yourself. Andy was involved in all of them drafts with Howie. So after Andy left is where you really have to judge Howie. And I don't know if he got chipped the best talent. I don't know if it was done on purpose or what. But moving forward, I think they're looking for a football guy. This whole thing's football guys, right? Even though the coach there right now said 100 times that he's a football guy. But that doesn't matter, right?
Well, it's interesting, though, because Chip had his introductory press conference in San Francisco
today. And they find
today.
out what kind of your dog's name is.
Right.
And they're nice, and we want to know, why you're, what's the difference? When we interviewed him the first time, we're worried about game 1 of the season and drilling so we're asking about 2-minute drill, right? We're asking our new coach about a goddamn 2-minute drill with another team, and the Niners media, right, making day 1 like a rock star.
Oh, yeah.
What's your dog's name, Chip? Right? Oh, Henry? Oh. And it's a freaking love affair. But we're over here breaking down the Great Wall of freaking China, right? They ask a guy about 2 minutes in a game that doesn't matter now. Damn it! God, it's so it's just annoying. Why can't we be nice?
You know what?
From day one, can we be nice?
I just put a stopwatch on you, and once the rant starts, I just hit stop when "damn it" comes out.
It's like I just don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and here's the thing. So Chip's in San Francisco, and they say to him, "Well, you know, why is it different here? Why do you want to come here and just coach football? Why don't you want to be involved in the personnel decisions here?" And he says, "Well, Trent Baalke's a football guy." Hello? No shit, Sherlock. Because football guys win games. Football guys win Super Bowls. And oh, by the way, who works under Trent Baalke? The aforementioned Tom Gamble. Maybe things are not quite what they seemed in the at the NovaCare complex.
I don't know, but there's a big problem with structure. Like we talked about, you need big-time structure in your organization. You need everything to run smoothly. And as of right now, forget the staff. I like the staff. You know, my concern's up top. Are you giving your staff the players that put them in a position to succeed, right? We always talk about the goddamn staff putting the players in position to succeed, but we never talk about the general manager who's doing all the shopping and buying all the groceries that put the coach in a position to succeed. It's a three-pronged thing here that needs to work.
Well, and
if you're not working up top,
you're absolutely
your bottom
right.
result's going to stink.
You're absolutely right. And there's what kills me is there's already a lot of posturing going on too with the coaches and the personnel guys, because yesterday when Doug's press conference was over, and I guess Derek Gunn from CSN Philly got him for like 5 minutes, and they started talking, and you know, Doug sang Sam Bradford's praises up one side and down the other, but he made sure to mention that Chase Daniel was also a viable option at quarterback for the Eagles. Today, Chip's out in San Francisco, and he's talking about, no, I never did try to trade for Colin Kaepernick, but I'm looking forward to working with him. I think Blaine Gabbert is a great quarterback, very much in the mold of Sam Bradford, someone that could take the reins of my offense and run with it. And then all of a sudden, he's singing Sam Bradford's praises up and down too. And oh, by the way, Sam's going to be a free agent. Maybe Pat Shurmur winds up in San Francisco with Chip, and their quarterback is none other than Sam Bradford.
Wow. Wow. I mean, a turn of events. Not the Shurmur, because I see the Shurmur. But Bradford, wow.
And you know what? If Chip does sign, I mean, I can't even
I would hope he's smart enough to go to San Fran for Kaepernick.
I can't even, you would think, but I mean, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. But if Chip does sign Sam Bradford, just the fact that he signs him means that every single thing that Chip said when he was in Philadelphia, and I know this is going to an extreme, every single thing he said when he was in Philadelphia about the front office, God's honest truth, and Harry and Jeff are the ones blowing smoke up everyone's ass.
They are. It's their job. They're getting paid to blow smoke. I mean, Christ, he got a new, piece of arm candy after his drunk wife driving over to Walt Whitman.
But here's
he's all about secrecy, Michael.
Right, but
come on.
No, I get it. But when he had the press conference talking about they were dismissing Chip, there was very much a good cop, bad cop feel to it. And Chip was the bad cop that was being run out of town, and Jeff Lurie was the good cop who was going to make everything right. And now here we are 3 weeks later, and I don't get a feeling about Jeff Lurie at all that he's a good cop. I almost feel like Doug Pederson is the good cop, Jeff Lurie is the bad cop, and Howie Roseman needs to go to freaking jail.
Yeah, Howie Roseman needs to be put in witness protection. You know, listen, Chip Kelly should never have been fired. I mean, it's bigger than that. You know,
Jeff Lurie needs to fire himself. God damn it.
I mean, I said he needed to look in the mirror a while ago, and, you know, we're talking about player personnel. Who's going to be the head of player personnel? And now it's not Howie, and now you bring in a new GM. They must have a guy lined up that had a part in this coaching search. It had to be. Or you're running an organization ass backwards. I mean, come on, man. If there isn't, there's a problem here. We already know there's a problem here, but there's a bigger problem here.
Jaws?
No.
Dude, I don't know, man. He got a lot of airplay on this coaching search thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't think it's because he's a media whore. If he wants to be a media whore, he could go be on ESPN.
Is he your GM now?
I don't know, but
No experience.
Either
Like he scouts soul players. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. I mean, he doesn't have. He's not an NFL guy essentially in terms of personnel.
Well, hold on a second though.
He loves everybody.
Well, right, but here's the thing. He's not an NFL guy in terms of signing players because he's never worked in a front office. But what has he done at NFL Films and ESPN for the last however many years? Yes, he broke down tape. He and Merrill Hodge, for as much as I hate him.
I hate Hodgie.
But he knows his shit, and so does Jaws. And if they're going to find guys, I mean, the whole thing with Jaws is really kind of intriguing to me because it's just
Are we the Flyers now? You know what I mean? Like we got to bring everybody back home. Yeah, I almost don't like that a little bit.
You know what though? Jaws has been gone for so long.
He's been around.
I don't even look at him as a retread though.
Freaking penny pinching on his golf courses. He's been here.
But here's the thing. I mean, the whole thing with Jaws it's got to be one of two things. It's either one, he may be the guy, and they're just trying to get through the season, and he fulfills his commitments to ESPN through the Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden Jaws is the guy. Or Jeff went to Jaws and said, Jaws, listen, I need a favor. I'm calling in a solid here because I got egg all over my face right now. I need to find a coach, and I need somebody with some credibility in this town to back me up and say that they were part of this coaching search. Can you do that for me? And I think Jaws probably looked at him and said, you know what? I'm not doing that on ESPN for you, but in the local media, yeah, I'll do you a solid.
But another name that was in on this search, Bill Polian.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So just another name to toss out to the people. Jaws, Polian, both in on the coaching search. Polian, obviously a former GM, so easy for that one. But like you said, maybe
concerns about Polian's age, but otherwise, in terms of knowing his stuff, nobody better. Nobody better.
How about this? Just throwing it out there. Polian comes in. He's your GM for a year or two. Jaws is your assistant GM.
If they hire both of them, you just kiss Howie goodbye the day they hire him.
Both these guys were in on the coaching search, which makes it weird. It's really strange that a former GM's in on your coaching search and a guy who's living in the backyard, former players in on your coaching search.
The NFL and the Philadelphia Eagles are not the type of business that bring in temporary contractors to do a job for you.
No, it's deeper than this. I mean, it's deeper. They got it. These guys. Maybe they're hired in the next week or two. I don't know, but it's got to happen soon. Andreas around the block. I mean, you start scouting now.
Dude, there's layers upon layers upon layers of this stuff. And it's like, it's almost like you're peeling an onion and you find a layer that's good, so you're going to dice it up and throw it in your chill. You find a layer that's not good, you're throwing it away. Like, it's so much just muck to get through with this. And I'm actually starting to feel bad now about the fact that I was going to put Doug Pederson on blast a little bit because now I'm almost thinking Doug's collateral damage. I do still think he was ill-prepared for that press conference. When Andy came in, nobody in Philadelphia knew Andy from Adam. Andy's press conference was banging. I was ready to suit up and run through a damn brick wall for Andy Reid after his press conference.
I don't know. I thought he said things good.
Chip was a charming guy, and everybody knew what we were getting into with Chip and blah, 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 whatever. I really feel like Doug was kind of ill-prepared. And then, to your point, the media kind of, especially the national guys, with the questions and the grilling him and stuff like that, I think that kind of threw him off his game.
No question. I don't think he was ill-prepared. I think he just wasn't – he's never done it. Not everybody gets up there and they're just natural in front of like 40 people that they're staring at that are media guys. It's different getting in a locker room and facing 40 guys than it is, going in front of the media your first time when you just got done playing too and you just got off a flight the day before and to go get crushed with questions or you're just not ready for that. But on the other side, we'll do AFC NFC Championship game. We'll break them down. We'll give our predictions for the Super Bowl. All that, much more. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
With a mouthful of water in the PM.
We're right here at HUDRadio.com, and this last segment was brought to you by Martino Roofing. More than 15 years of roofing experience, proudly serving Sewell, New Jersey, as well as Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the South Jersey area. 609-792-5103. Or on the web, MartinoRoofingLLC.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
This is Tom Arnone, owner and operator of A2DRadio.com and host of Agree to Disagree. If I want to go check out a ball game, there's no better place than the Philly Sports Bar located 31 South Black Horse Pike in Runnymede, New Jersey. With over 40 plasma and HD TVs, a brick oven, a two-story deck, the sports bar has surpassed everyone's expectations. From the one-of-a-kind sports memorabilia to life-size sports figures, the bar stays true to its name. The Philly Sports Bar will provide quality service along with outstanding variety of the finest liquors and well-known beers in a family-friendly environment while remaining true to what they are, the best darn sports bar. That's the Philly Sports Bar, located in Runnymede, New Jersey.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey guys, Rob Povia here from Fantasy Dominance Now and the Hockey Happy Hour with a quick question. Are you in need of a professional home improvement? Then contact Harry's Contracting, 609-638-6336. That's 609-638-6336. No job too big, no job too small. The owner, Harry Ernst, is a fully licensed general contractor. Tile work, bathroom and kitchen remodeling, and just about everything else. No matter what you need, Harry will leave your home looking as beautiful as ever. Harry's Contracting offers free estimates, and if you mention A2D Radio during the estimate, Harry will give you 15% off the quote. Give him the job, tack on another 5% for a total of 20% savings off his already insane low prices. So contact Harry's Contracting today, 609-638-6336, or email harryscontractingimprovements@gmail.com. Harry's Contracting, insane home improvements.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, on A2DRadio.com.
A little Contra Dawn.
Thanks,
action.
Dawn.
Thank you to Contra Dawn. We really appreciate it here at A2DRadio.com and Tom and Mike, AM and the PM, right here on the Worldwide Leader, or whatever the hell we want to talk about, A2DRadio.com. At the beginning of the show, we touched on the Eagles' new coaching staff, and we put a question out. You saw the press yesterday. Did Doug Pederson's press conference increase your confidence in his hiring? Yes or no? Right on our Twitter page, A2DRadio_com. You want to get in on any of the action we talked about? You know, we did everything. And we talked about the new staff, the press conference. We went over the new possible new head of player personnel. We talked about, dotting the I's and crossing the T's on what happened with Chip Kelly and Tom Gamble back eating dinner together. We went through all of it, and we came out smelling like roses, but there's one guy who didn't come out smelling like roses, and that's Howie Roseman. He came out smelling like a pile of shit, and that's a problem. So moving forward, the Eagles need to get Howie Roseman right.
Yeah, you know what we need to do, though? We do need to circle back on one thing real quick. And this one's on me. Completely forgot.
All right,
and I don't know how the hell it happened. I need to do a better job. Former Browns offensive coordinator John DeFilippo will be the Eagles quarterbacks coach. I like it. I like it a lot, actually, because if you look at what the Browns did last year with basically garbage at quarterback, I mean, they turned Travis Benjamin into, what could be a borderline number one wide receiver, and Gary Barnidge is, without a doubt, a number one tight end now. And that was, with Johnny Manziel, Austin Davis, guys like that throwing him the ball, if he gets a real quarterback to work with, and, him and Frank Reich together, who knows? We'll see.
Slop, and some more slop there in Cleveland. So,
yeah.
Anytime you get the best out of the guys in Cleveland, you're doing a hell of a job. So, yeah, you're right. So, we talked about a lot of stuff, and we'll see where it all goes, and we'll see what happens to Howie Roseman. We'll see who maybe the new head of player personnel is. So, a lot of things moving forward. We're going to get in NFC Championship game this Sunday, 6:40, Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. And there's one thing in this football game before we, give predictions, and there's one factor that people need to look at. And if there's a way to beat Carolina, it's in the slot, and that's Cortland Finnegan. And who plays slot for the Arizona Cardinals? That's one Larry Fitzgerald. And the highest completion rate to any player in the NFL is a Larry Fitzgerald. At 79% of his passes are completed to Larry Fitzgerald.
And if you want to talk about a wide receiver getting quote-unquote hot
at the right time,
Larry Fitzgerald is like surface of the sun hot right now.
Scorching hot. And this whole conversation brought to you by Harry's Contracting for professional home improvement. Give Harry Ernst a call, 609-638-6336. Email him, Harry's Contracting Improvements at gmail.com. So there's Harry.
Robbie.
Reach out to Mr. Ernst.
Robbie, pot your mic up, brother.
What's happening?
Jump in on this, because you brought up something off the air that you were talking about with Fantasy Dominance Now, when you were looking at some of the backstory on that matchup between Carolina and Arizona with Larry Fitzgerald and Cam Newton, kind of that head-to-head battle.
Yeah, that's really the marquee matchup, because you're looking at a guy that's definitely going to be the league MVP versus the guy that's the hottest in the playoffs. So that, to me, is the real story. Yes, you do have former Heisman Trophy winners facing off against each other, Cam Newton and Carson Palmer, which is the first time since, I believe, 1971, which was Roger Staubach versus Steve Spurrier.
Ooh, Spur. Interesting.
Yeah, so, that is a big story, but in terms of what's going to be the quintessential point of this is that can Fitz beat Josh Norman, and can Cam Newton do anything against what's a really stout Arizona defense, even without Tyrann Mathieu?
Well, that's the thing, right? The thing is, Fitzgerald's never going to have to match up against Norman.
Because
they're going to leave him in the slot against Finnegan, because the weakest part of Carolina's defense is they have the highest QBR against slot corner. Their slot corner, the highest in the league. Their QBR against them
you're absolutely
is
right.
the highest. So if there's a chink in the armor, it's Cortland Finnegan and their slot corners. So Larry Fitzgerald plays slot. See how the difference? Larry Fitzgerald plays slot, and they have the highest completion percentage to their slot guy compared to the other side of it, where it's the worst.
So now
that's going to be interesting.
Now, does Ron Rivera and Sean McDermott dig into the bag of tricks here and say, well, you know what? Maybe what we're going to do is we're going to take Josh Norman, and if you want to beat us with Michael Floyd or John Brown or Jerron Brown or J.J. Nelson, you go right ahead. But we're going to put Josh Norman on Larry Fitzgerald no matter where he goes, and let's see you fight that one.
Jesus, do I hope that you're right, Mike, and you're wrong on this issue, Tom, because I advocated so many people in Fantasy Dominance now to play Josh Brown in their daily leagues and John Brown in their daily leagues and not Larry Fitzgerald because he's beyond Josh Norman. But you make a great point that he doesn't usually play.
He won't.
Slot,
he
right?
won't. Yeah, especially in this one.
Dude,
because of the matchup.
I stacked Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald. My lineup's done already.
It's all right. Just because I gave the numbers on how bad and good each one is doesn't mean that he's going to go for 150 and 2 touches. You just don't know in this league. This league's crazy. But the numbers say if there's a way for Arizona to beat them on the opposite side of the football, it's that slot. So if it is Brown, which it could be, any slot guy. I mean, they might go 4 wide and have 2 slot guys. But the point is they're going to beat up on, and they're going to go 4 wide to make Carolina use more defensive backs because that's their weakness. Outside of Josh Norman, their safeties are weak. Their other 2 corners are weak. Cortland Finn's an okay player. He used to be a good player. Not anymore. What are they going to – so if they make Josh Norman follow Fitzy around everywhere, they're going to find matchups on the outside where Finnegan's got to play on the outside against Brown or Floyd. That's a matchup nightmare. Listen, real quick.
And J.J. Nelson will run right by him.
Real quick, I think Carolina is loaded. I think Cam's having a career year. I mean, his accuracy is phenomenal. He throws balls not the way you're supposed to, not the way you're taught. I mean, his footwork's horrendous at times, but his accuracy is money. This is where it ends this weekend. If there's a team that beat Carolina, because I haven't been on this Carolina train, and I'm not going to hop on now. I like Cam Newton. He's a damn good football player. I'm not sold on this. I don't believe they're 15-1 worthy. They're damn good. This is the team that can beat them defensively. If they can't beat them, hey, man, I think they're a damn good football team. Cam Newton, well-deserving of MVP and all the accolades for this year. But this football team coming in here right now is a damn good football team.
Tommy, that's a great point, man, because I was sitting there watching the game, specifically the Arizona Green Bay game on Saturday night with a buddy of mine, and we're just kind of, shooting the shit about the playoffs as a whole. And I looked at him and I said, listen, let me ask you a question. I said, is Carolina for real? I said, are they really a 15-1 football team? And then all of a sudden, like, as I tweeted out multiple times Saturday night, divine intervention kicked in, and that Green Bay-Arizona game just went off the rails crazy, and we never finished the discussion. So he texted me in, like, the second quarter on Sunday when it's, like, 24-0 Carolina. Goes, well, it looks like Carolina's for real. Sure, until the second half when they got outscored 24-0. So was that a case of Seattle just didn't show up to play in the first half, or is Carolina really that good?
Or it's a 10 o'clock start time on the West Coast, and it's a 1 o'clock start time here. So they're starting their game at 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning, and they've done it for a few weeks now. It's tough, man.
Well,
tough. They traveled over 3,000 miles in what, a week?
I think they took their foot off the gas in that game. They were like, we got this. We're coasting, yada, yada. But, no, they're not a 15-1 team. They're a team where all the ducks lined up in a row, and everything went, and it needed to be the way you lost Kelvin Benjamin before the season started. You need that. The only thing that's 15-1 worthy is the Cam Newton, the Greg Olsen combination.
No
question. They're that ridiculous.
Well,
Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, Cam's 15-1 worthy,
right.
and
Olsen's
15-1 worthy. So your point's spot on. That makes them 15-1 worthy. Because Davis, Kuechly, Norman, they're good. 12-4, good. Yeah,
we'll take nothing away from them.
Yeah, 13-3. Yeah, the 15-1 like is a little much to me for that football team. But hey, real quick, let's do predictions so we can get to the AFC on the other side. I'm gonna go Arizona 24, Carolina 21.
24-21, so 3-point game.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know what the line is, but I assume Carolina's favored.
Well, I'll say this: you and I are absolutely on the same page in terms of it being a 3-point game, and regardless of the Carolina pedigree, and regardless of what Rob just said about Arizona bringing a stout defense to the table, I think this has a really good chance to be one of the highest scoring NFC championship games in recent memory. I'm going 41-38 Arizona.
I like it. I went low, but I don't disagree with that. I mean, I feel like I went a little high because how good these defenses can be, but both offenses can put up points too. It's gonna be interesting. Which if it's more your side in points, if it's more like closer to mine or even less. It's real interesting to see how it plays out because both really good offenses, both loaded defensively, So which one wins? Who wins the battles in the NFC? So we're both going to Arizona, which is exciting. On the other side, we'll give our AFC Brady Manning for the last time. I mean, I think it's safe to say
think
that
so too,
in
yeah.
my terms. And I'm going to tell you a little spoiler. Somebody's rolling somebody in this football game. This is Tom
Mike
AM.
in the PM.
All right, here at HUDRadio.com, and this segment was brought to you by Romeo's Termite and Pest Control, your local pest control provider, family-owned and operated business. Give Mark Romeo a call, 856-341-3927 on the web, romeospestcontrol.com. Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, HUDRadio.com.
This is Head, your dude with the tunes from A to Z classic rock. When I'm hungry and in the mood for pizza or killer sandwich, I head to Legends Tap, located at 318 High Street in Burlington, New Jersey. Pleasant atmosphere, delicious pizza, kickin' sandwiches, great iced tea, soda, or if you prefer an adult beverage, they have that also. 318 High Street, Burlington, New Jersey, Legends Tap, the best pizza this side of the Delaware.
Hey, if you're interested in buying, selling, or renting a house, call Kingsgate Realty at 856-931-1200. Ask for Patrick Bocchicchio or visit their website at kingsgatere.com, located at 57 West Kings Highway, Mount Ephraim, New Jersey.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. With over 40 years of customer experience giving the latest in uniforms and equipment to sports enthusiasts of baseball, softball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and much more. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or send them an email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit their website at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all of your sporting needs.
Hey guys, Rob Povia here from Fantasy Dominance Now and the Hockey Happy Hour with a quick question. Are you in need of a professional home improvement? Then contact Harry's Contracting, 609-638-6336. That's 609-638-6336. No job too big, no job too small. The owner, Harry Ernst, is a fully licensed general contractor. Tile work, bathroom and kitchen remodeling, and just about everything else. No matter what you need, Harry will leave your home looking as beautiful as ever. Harry's Contracting offers free estimates, and if you mention A2D Radio during the estimate, Harry will give you 15% off the quote. Give him the job, tack on another 5% for a total of 20% savings off his already insane low prices. So contact Harry's Contracting today, 609-638-6336, or email harryscontractimprovements@gmail.com. Harry's Contracting, insane home improvements.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to A2D Radio. A2D Radio. A2D Radio. At A2DRadio.com.
Hello, Tom,
Mike,
AM.
in the PM.
We're right here, A2DRadio.com, and AFC Talk preview, AFC Championship game brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 856-889-3434. ScanzanoSports.com is how you can find them. 31,000 square foot hitting facility, team training facility. If it's baseball, softball, soccer, I seen lacrosse in there tonight. I mean, a ton of stuff. Or you just want individual training with me because I'm money. That's available too. So, because I do work for them.
If you do say so yourself.
Just throwing that out there. My hands might have been in my pocket tonight when it came to infield drills, but when it came to hitting, hands got out of the pocket, BB started coming. So win-win. That being said, screw that. We'll get into not screw the sponsors, screw my comments. So screw me, essentially. Let's get into a little AFC talk, but before that, let's just dive into everything that we talked about today quickly. We'll do a little run-through if you're just joining us. And we got into Schwartz, Frank Reich, Doug Pederson, the presser, Eagles' new coaching staff, a new head of player personnel. But if you are just joining us and you want to vote on our Twitter question, feel free. Did Doug Pederson's press conference increase your confidence in the hiring? Let us know. Twitter page, A2DRadio_com, or hop in on the phone lines, 856-295-1178. You can comment on any of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, Google+, my own personal house line, which is not going to be given out. But there's so many options. Follow the worldwide leader, a real mother talk.
I'll say
ASAP.
I'll say this, Tommy. I'm not going to give away the results because I want everybody to go look for the results.
Yeah, we don't give away results, Mike. We're not nice enough.
But
we're jerk-offs.
I will say this. In Negadelphia,
yeah,
I'm kind of surprised the way it's trending right now.
I know. I don't want to say too much. Because there's normal people out there like ourselves. Not everybody's a jackass. Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, I wanted to move so bad out of this.
Rob, can you isolate that? No, there's normal people out there. Not everyone's a jackass.
It's the problem with this city, man. I hate it. I hate half the fans. Like I love Ralph Del Vecchio. Great kid. And this is why we
I'm ready to roast him, though.
But let me make a point.
Ralph and I have been this close to having Facebook battles over the last week.
Listen, it's my boo. That's why I try to stay away from it. But let me tell you something. This is why we give a voice here to the fan. Because he's so passionate.
He is passionate, no
and
question.
I love it. And even though I disagree with his comments half the time, I still do love the passion. And whatever, I would say he's normal compared to what's out there.
Yeah.
He's just passionate. There's guys out there that we talked about, even fan-wise, that have agendas. And that's fine. And you can have your agenda and be a jackass and live negatively your whole life. Or you can be a positive individual and not talk about house you-know-whats on
the airwaves.
On big-time radio, which is just jackass stuff. I mean, listen, agree-disagree is a little bit different of a show than me and you do. It's more saying, not outlandish, because we stay pretty clean the majority of the time, but we have some fun, and we say some fun stuff, but and you can say shock jock and be a jackass and say that's that, or you say it's good radio. And no matter how many crazy things I've said on the air, and I said a lot of crazy shit, and I don't remember, people are like, how do you think your show goes? Dude, I don't remember anything I talked about. Okay, let me clarify that real fast. But that being said, I've never, or anybody on these airways, has ever said something so disrespectful. It doesn't make you funny.
No, it doesn't.
And I know his reference in this. I know what he's referencing. Cuz Guys, can I cuz you?
You can
Oh,
cuz him.
I almost dropped the F-bomb. But can I cuz you, you effing moron? You effing moron. And I don't want your job, but I sure as hell would take it because you shouldn't be allowed. Whoever their program director is, but I'm not going to give him the credit of announcing his name. Come on, man.
I don't even think he's a program director anymore.
There's fun radio.
Didn't he get fired like 2 months ago?
Yeah, he did. There's fun radio and there's outlandish radio. And sports talk should be fun and make funny comments and have fun with it. But there's a line. And there's a line you can't cross. And you're Mr. Big Time and you crossed the line, brother. So go wherever you came from and go rot somewhere.
Well, my theory on this whole thing with him is that I think now that his program director is gone, he wants to be gone, but he doesn't want to resign because he wants to keep getting paid. So he's trying to force their hand. So they suspend him, they fire him, whatever. They still got to pay him.
Yeah.
But to your previous point, there's certain people, no matter what the situation is, they feel like they have to be right. So, Joey sitting on his stoop in South Philly will go all kinds of negadelphia on you. And no matter how long it takes, whether it's 1 season, 2 seasons, or 5 seasons, at some point he just wants the opportunity to tell you, "Ha I told you so.
Yep.
I was right."
No, you're right.
Well, shove it up your ass.
And let's clarify this. We do, with the right wording here, in terms of the stoop. We do.
We like the stoop.
We do enjoy the stoop. I've done videos from his stoop, and so we're big believers in the stoop. So we're not here to rip the stoop.
No, we're here to rip the guy sitting on the stoop.
On the stoop. Thank you, Michael. Let's get in, as we have 4 minutes left on tonight's programming. Let's get in the AFC Championship game. The last time, and I think Rob put out on Fantasy Dominance on Tuesday. Is the last time, and I said yeah.
I think
it's
so
a great
too.
question, but you never know. But it could be a payday for Peyton if he wins, which I'm going to tell you right now is not going to happen. But that being said, it's the last time we see this great matchup, and Brady's gotten the better of him. Brady's the better quarterback. Does Peyton get maybe the better of him one time? Not this time.
17th meeting, Brady's 11-5 all time.
Roll job.
Roll job.
Roll
but
Uggs and everything, baby.
But
go ahead, give it to me. Hit me.
Denver defense, man.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a roll job, but I think it's a late roll job.
By New England?
Yeah. I think Denver hangs for 3 quarters. I think maybe what you see is a couple of late turnovers by Denver puts New England in real good field position, and that winds up being the deciding factor. I think it's a pretty hefty margin, but I think it turns into the margin late.
All right. How do you like this one? 28-14.
It's actually right around where I'm at.
And that's a roll job when you're talking about this defense and in an AFC Championship game. I just don't think their offense can hang. I don't think New England's defense is that great, but I also don't think that this offense can hang. I think he's going to turn the football over a lot. I really do. Now, Peyton can avoid the turnovers. They have a shot. But, I don't say it. I just don't say it. And
I'm literally right next door to you. I'm at 27.
How do they win? The only way they win is by, like I talked about, you don't get Brady the ball back if you're Doug Pederson in that game, right? You have to get lucky and get the onside kick, right, Robbie? The only way you beat New England is how the Eagles beat them. Pick 6, punt return touchdown, fumble recovery. The only way you beat them is by a lucky bounce or Brady making a mistake. And let me tell you, the chances of that,
I agree with you, but
they're taking shots, Michael. Their defense is taking shots.
No, you're right, but
there's
one other thing they can do, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but they could go back and they could look at the tape of the first half of the Miami game when New England was still playing for home field throughout. They could look at the first half of that Miami game before Belichick kind of threw in the towel. And if they can figure out what Miami's pass rush scheme was, and they can get pressure on Brady, it could be interesting.
Well, we know that way you beat them. I mean, you're spot on. That's
you got to beat him up.
That's the way you beat him, and I think that they dug themselves their own grave by calling him out and saying he's a crybaby. I mean, you don't get the greats of all time pissed off. You just don't do it. So a poor decision by Denver doing that. That being said, what a freaking phenomenal show.
Well, Brady's never won in Denver though. Not in the playoffs.
That ends.
Yeah.
You just add something else on to the trophy case. That's it done. Well, first off, thanks Rob Pelvier for producing. For Michael Maddock, I'm Tom Arnone. This has been Tom,
Mike,
AM
in the PM,
right here, HUDRadio.com, and we like to thank everybody for listening. First off, and if you're going somewhere else for whatever, you're a moron. Come to HUDRadio.com, and thank you Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. GibsonMayer.com is how you can find them. Find them for sponsoring every Wednesday night. What a blast this has been, brother. Mr. Povia, thank you as well. And to everybody that's a moron out there, sit on your stoop, get a clue. Thanks for listening.